What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? This joint is 2 hours long. Shout out to Jaguar Wright. Jaguar took your advice. I want you to notice it. You probably don't even know what I'm talking about, do you, Jag? I took your advice, Jaguar, and I did it. We'll talk later on if you want or whatever. I ain't gonna say it on here, but I did exactly what you said. I don't know how you could do it. Uncle Mike, I don't see how you can do it. So I don't do it no more. Check it out, man. Jaguar Wright goes off on Charleston White. I think that you should have went off on Charleston White. And she gonna talk about the MO3 trial. Look here, man. I'm about and Nolan Wells, Jay-Z, and Diddy and more. Check this out, man. While we do it now, people do a lot of stuff on their channel. They smoke, they drink, they eat. They do all kinds. I'm about to double dip. I got work to do, y'all. I'm putting together these traps. So while we listening to Jaguar, I'm gonna break some stuff down, man. But sometimes Charleston go way too far. And the first couple of times he went too far, he made a lot of money. So now he trying to go too far on anything. I don't mess with people who passed away, their families and everything. I don't play that. Rest in peace to Nolan. I'm so happy that this thing is getting blown way out of proportion because of this situation, we found out there's 2 other situations just like this. I can't remember the person's name. Can't remember nobody's name, but it's the same situation, guys. Not that, no boat. Somebody drowned and they try to get rid of the cell phone and all this stuff. Man, y'all hit that subscribe button and hit that bell. Give him a thumbs up and let's check it out.
Before we get off the Mo3 situation, I got to get your take, Jag, as far as this trial about to start in August. There's always a question of should a trial be televised or should it be closed to the public? This trial itself, do you feel it should be televised? And if so...
Absolutely. His death was televised. Why shouldn't his trial?
That's a damn good point right there. His death all over the internet. They see the guy running and zigzagging, shooting. The guy running in the middle of the highway shooting. That's crazy, man. I don't know. It ain't real life. Got my coffee right here, baby. My large coffee.
Real life street stars. We are back. We are back with another one. We got her right back in the building. It's been a while, Jag, since we did a formal interview. First and foremost, Jaguar Wright, how you doing?
I've been great, actually. On the low key. I've been great.
All right.
Let me ask you, Jag. As we get started, as we're about to have this conversation, we're about 5-6 years in on having these interviews and having these conversations. And as you can see,
officially
6 years.
This August, it'll be 6 years. Yeah, it'll be our 6-year anniversary.
And I'm not gonna lie, we were some of the pioneers from what we did, 6 years ago, as far as coming on these platforms, having these interviews.
You were it. You were my first sit down on this stage of my life. It all started with you guys. So I was on social media, but I was just on Instagram, and I had no idea how much I had permeated all over and through YouTube. I had no idea, and I really didn't have any idea after I left.
Right. And it's interesting because
from my world that I realized, okay.
Yeah, I would say I have to first get your take on the atmosphere and the stage that's been set with podcasts. You have like Joe and Jada. You have you have all these hip hop heads who are now starting podcasts, who are, telling these stories and getting out there. And again, we were doing this almost half a decade ago. First and foremost, what's your take on the landscape of like the podcasting world where everyone is kind of gearing towards having these conversations online and doing their own stories and telling their own narratives and such and such?
I mean, being influential is one thing. Watching it mutate the way it has is another. What do I think about every rapper having a podcast? What do I think about every wannabe rapper thinking that they're a rapper and having a podcast to prove it? What do I think about every, for real, just like, yeah, like, I don't want to say over the hill rappers, but yeah, like, it's weird. It's weird. It's like being at the zoo and seeing all the cages open.
I hear you.
You don't know what animal's about to jump out the cage. So it's
They just jumping.
I guess it's a good thing I'm a Jaguar. Not only can I move fast, I can defend myself pretty quickly as well. So yeah, it's a zoo. That's what I think of the podcast space right now. If someone had told me 15 years ago that Joe Budden was going to be an affluent millionaire for doing nothing more than lying to the public like he's lied to women, I would have told you were both. Absolutely. If someone had told me that Jadakiss and Fat Joe would be teaming up to be the odd couple of rap podcasting, I would have said Jada would never disrespect himself like that. So wrong. Yeah, like I'm happy for Lamont Hill though, because I mean, low key, he always wanted to be a rapper, and now he gets to be a podcaster with, an over the whatever rapper.
Yeah, no, it is interesting, and as the landscape, shapes itself, do you feel that either they saw that it was either a lucrative deal or that they feel like, hey, I want to set my own truth? Because most people and most rappers and most entertainers, they wait, back in the 90s, you would wait for their autobiography to tell their story,
No
once
more.
it's kind of
Podcast
getting
now.
towards the end.
Podcast now. Who has time to read
Yeah.
unless it's Audible? It's podcast now. And the funny thing is most of them ain't even telling the truth. So they're really not, they're lying as much on their podcast as they're lying in their lyrics. Like it's just them without the cadence and the beat behind it.
Which takes us into our first conversation, Jag. We've been having these conversations for so long, and right now, when you first came in, Dallas Fort Worth had, an infamous rapper, I guess you could say, as far as controversy, starting by the name of Mo3, Melvin Noble. And 6 years later, we are finally about to see the trial that's about to happen. And as you just stated, they had a pretrial hearing where should lyrics and songs come into play to stand, for someone's, testimony, basically, or as evidence of any foul play. And this shakes up the music industry, as we've seen with, the case with Julio Fulio, a few others, as far as music coming into play.
Right?
Yeah, Dirk.
Dirk has some issues.
Man, before we even get into the trial itself.
Has Jay-Z ever had to defend his rap lyrics?
No.
What about Diddy? They didn't use Diddy's lyrics in his trial. They kept it out with all of the guns and drugs and real victims.
Exactly. So yeah, what is your
having
thoughts?
fun with the evidence on Mo3's trial too. It's interesting.
Yeah, so as it stands, the judge actually agreed to allow not all the music, but some music come into play in regards to the conversation. And first and foremost, I just want to get your take as far as artists' right to expression on music. Can it be held against someone in the court of law if it applies, I guess? Or should it?
I have an interesting take on that. I think if it's all bull, it shouldn't be held against them, but they should have to admit that it's all bull. And I think if it's real, then they should be held accountable for their lyrics. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I go back to like O.J. Simpson, where he had that if I would have did it, like he wrote that book. And to me, music is a form of expression, just as writing a book or poetry. And I'm like, can it be pulled in? If someone was just, like you said, expressing, like you said, should they have to admit that everything they say is fake?
They should have to admit that it's bull. They should have to admit that it's the truth. And if it's bull, then it shouldn't be used against them. It should just be acknowledged that it's bull.
There you go. As far as
many of these rappers are making things up just to get the public to jump off the porch and do some good shit and go to the prisons that a lot of these upper echelon rappers are financially benefiting from. It's quite the rat trap.
So how responsible are the labels or distribution centers in regards to putting out the kind of music?
They're extremely complicit and responsible and should be held liable. Matter of fact, any artist that gets trapped up behind their music and the antics wrapped around it, in my opinion, the labels should be charged as co-conspirators or accessories, even after the fact.
Now that's an interesting point, because the record labels are promoting and distributing the lyrics that are true of a crime. That's a little deeper than in the criminal justice laws and different things. That's very interesting to think about. So if somebody commits a crime and then they write a song about it, talking about that crime, the whole company and the organization who's helped marketing and promoting this thing, should they be held accountable? Maybe they didn't. I didn't know. I didn't know it was he really did this. I just thought it was just a song he wrote. That's interesting. Let's go. Very interesting.
Yeah, that kind of goes down a rabbit hole, because if someone admits to, let's say, a crime.
Not really. It's like a straight line. Like, imagine Jimmy Iovine getting indicted. Imagine Leor Cohen getting indicted. Imagine, before he passed away, Clive Davis getting indicted. Diddy who? Rest in hell, bitch.
Okay, what was your problem with Clive Davis, man? I mean, what? He's gone now. Like, what was the issue? What was it for those who don't know? What was the issue overall with Clive?
He's the devil that's responsible for creating Diddy. He's the demon that tortured Whitney Houston, Phyllis Hyman, Janis Joplin, Betty Wright, Aretha Franklin low key, She was just more cooperative. Luther Vandross. Like I could go on and on and on. He's got Milli Vanilli all over him. Or at least Rob, because Fab, he survived. I mean, he's Clive Davis.
Okay.
Every time Alicia Keys opens her mouth to a bad note and people pretend like that bitch can really sing, we owe that to Clive Davis. Every time we hear people try to pretend that Diddy didn't do all of those things that they refused to try him for, we owe all of that to Clive Davis. The lives he destroyed. All the people he hurt. So many. It's
They say one monster leaves, another monster takes his place.
absolutely.
Who you feel took even Clive Davis's space? Is it Leor? Is it Diddy?
I think there's still an auditioning going on, in my opinion, honestly. I think they're trying out. It seems like it would be Leor, but I mean, he's not, for whatever reason, because I'm tracking it. I'm looking at where the power is flowing. I got a feeling those Kardashians, I think people underestimate where they stand and where they sit.
Yeah, you mean is it like the Jenners as well, or?
Well, I mean, it's the same family, same magic.
Yeah, that's
Their
facts.
daddy just turned into a woman. That's all. They all come from the same womb. And ain't she grand?
Yeah, no. Before we get off the Mo3 situation, I got to get your take, Jag, as far as this trial about to start in August. There's always a question of should a trial be televised or should it be closed to the public? This trial itself, do you feel it should be televised? And if so,
Absolutely. His death was televised. Why shouldn't his trial? We all had to watch him die.
You said something right there. Man.
Broad daylight. With an orchestrated plot that he cooperated in. If we had to watch him die, we should be able to see the trial.
no, without. I would agreed. Very well put. There technically is no justice. We see from what Dirk is going through, from what Julio Fulio, from all these rappers that are standing trial. Is there really, I guess, technically justice? We don't speak on your son enough, and the losses you've had.
Justice? What's that? It's just us. What's justice?
Jag with the bars.
What does that look like? The only thing I see is what's left behind. People are entertained by the news reports and they're bored with the business of justice. By the time it's time for the verdict, most people they don't even give a fuck. The only reason we were heavily invested in OJ's trial was because it was televised and people got to be there every step of the way, even when it got boring. People watched every day and they were invested. Unfortunately, if you want people to be invested in something or give a shit about something, you have to show them something. If they don't get to see it, they're no longer interested, because that's the society we live in now. Parasocial. People don't believe it unless it's online, and unfortunately, most of the shit online ain't even real. But they'll buy it. I mean, Yellow Beezy is attached to Roc Nation, is he not?
Yeah, something happened with that.
He's attached to Roc Nation, wasn't he? At some point in time. All the shit that I do believe is attached to his name. I'm sure they'll find an attorney. Maybe someone from Reed Smith or Quinn Emanuel. Come in with alley-oop. I mean, the truth is, this Yellow Beezy knows too much about a whole lot of shit that goes real deep, even deeper than Mo 3. Starting out over there at that trap house he got in Oak Cliff with Lamisha Fuller's boyfriend and his friends. Oh, that's right. 2 of them passed away while he got locked up. Like, there's so much connection and so much collusion that people aren't talking about. But I still have the recording of Adria English talking about the little people and the firearms and the unlawful pharmaceuticals. That was all through Yellow Beezy's trap house. Roc Nation special, maybe? I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't get off. If he gets off, I mean, I really won't be surprised if he gets off. I won't. I hope he don't. But if he don't look like the kind that likes to suffer alone.
Oh,
who knows who he might want to take with him. He might need to get off. Lord knows he got off on Mo 3. And I do mean that pun. In a big way. He almost thought he got away with it completely cold. He almost had a lot of people fooled. A lot of people. I didn't want to believe it. Someone lied to me and worked very hard to convince me of what I already knew in my bones to be true. God bless divorces.
So, the world's about to see that's going on, but the world's eyes are glued on another situation right now. I mean, some of the most.
Which one?
I'm going to speak about the David D4 VD and Celeste. This trial. We're not even in the trial yet. We're in the pre-trial to see if he needs to stand trial. There's a lot of
preliminary already passed, and he is going to try. That's official. Signed, sealed, delivered. It's yours.
And please give us your take, Jag, on this
He's
David
going to
situation.
try.
Mind
What do you want to know?
they found Celeste's body in the back of, or the front of, a Tesla trunk.
The frunk.
Yeah, the frunk. And
what the?
The front.
Mind you, it's his Tesla, but they allowed him to continue to tour for months on end. And it's funny because the evidence that's come forward, you would think that arrest would have happened sooner.
Well, the thing is they didn't allow him to tour. That car was parked around the corner over there on Vario.
Mm-hmm.
That car was parked. It used to be Dolini, but they've changed the name to Vario. I guess they were worried about, the house being rentable and how that gruesome crime was going to tear up that neighborhood. You know, we actually went there. We were on the scene. We took a walk around the property as they were changing the name from Doheny to Vario.
When you just even seeing that, of course, the vehicle parked, the manner in which her body was, cut up and decomposed, the stuff that's
As
coming out in
somebody
pretrial,
would say, de-articulated,
DRT.
disarticulated.
Yes. The information that came out during the trial, again, some people were so disgusted by what they were seeing and revealing, they had to
They
leave
ain't
the
seen
courtroom.
nothing yet. 42 terabytes of data of him with that little girl. Access from his phone on a cloud. 42 terabytes of him doing all kinds of things with that little girl. Like she wasn't even 80 pounds. She wasn't even 80 pounds.
Yeah, no, it gets sickening. And Jag, you've been an advocate, of course, of young girls and things of this nature. And
And I've been talking about this case from the very beginning. I've been on it from the start. I was on this case before we knew it was a little girl who spent her birthday deceased in the front of a Tesla. She didn't even make her 15th birthday. She was a teenager for less than 2 years. For less than 2 years, but had known him for 3, almost 4.
and perspective.
They met in the video game, in chat room. And then it graduated to Discord. And they built their little, whatever that was that they had. You can't call it a love affair. At 13 years old, she was already knocked up.
Yeah, possibly
And,
twice.
and deleted the evidence of those crimes with parents well aware on both sides of what was going on.
Yeah, how much onus do you put on the parents? How much, for them to have they're involved. I mean, they're in pictures with David and Celeste, and they must have knew that something was, going on between them two.
Of course they knew. They left her listed as missing, even though she was coming back and forth. She wasn't going that whole time that she was listed as missing. She was back and forth to Lake Elsinore on multiple occasions. She came and went. She was David's beck and call. Girl, they knew. They gave permission. She was allowed to leave the country with him.
Yeah, that was wild.
To Texas with him, where his family lives. There are pictures of her backstage with David and his family and his younger siblings, who she was barely older than. The parents gave the permission, and that means everyone knew exactly how old she was when they booked those tickets, including his management team. She was a minor. They would have had to given all kinds of consent and given all kinds of information. What hotel they would be staying in, their purposes for being there. She wasn't actually working on any of the productions that he was working on. She was coming along as a guest. So everywhere he went for his work visa would have had to have been cleared for her as well. These are all details that labels know, that management companies know, that the security knows, that the personal management companies know, that the production companies know. All of these things are filed, listed. Don't forget, I was an international touring artist. I know exactly how this works. And I remember everything that I had to do and everything I had to show when I brought my minor children overseas with me. The hotels we stayed in, how long we were going to be there, flying in, flying out, our reasons for being there, the purpose for being there, things declared were their family members for emergency contact. If not, who did we have on staff that would be emergency contact if anything that should happen to me? And the minor would have to be, you see? Every fucking body knew. And there were other girls that were around her age. The question is, did that little girl die because they had broken up and she was in her feelings and she was going to expose their relationship? Or did she die because she was about to pull the plug on a child trafficking fucking scheme these companies were aware of, or worse yet, involved in? See, if I gotta weigh it, kill a little girl because she's in her feelings when all you have to do is just take your PR machine and some money, some non-disclosure agreements, make the families moderately comfy, not quite rich, but moderately comfy. $500,000 should get them to shut up and make sure that little girl shuts up, put her a boarding school so she don't have to worry about being home since she's acting too grown. Make sure mom and dad have new cars, non-disclosure agreements, non-disparagement clauses, pay for that, spend about $1 million on PR, washing all of that away, just like they did with R. Kelly and Aaliyah, getting him a new girlfriend that's of age, as they were already starting to do for David right before people started noticing that Celeste was just completely gone. I mean, like, there's a million ways they could have handled that situation without taking her life. And it would have worked. It's worked every other time in the industry. The best example of it is R. Kelly and Aaliyah. And they got married.
Yeah, Jack, the weight of that, I have to ask you in regards to just having
She
the
said, and
weight
they got
of,
married.
knowing that she wanted to, get even with him. I'm not gonna say get even, but the text message, the last
She
ones that were
wanted
sent,
to expose.
exposed. She was jealous of his friendship with another female.
She was jealous. Are we even sure that those text messages haven't been altered? How do we know? Because guess what? She had friends who thought that they had been communicating with her all the way up until August. She was already dead. Who the fuck was they texting with?
Hey,
Who were her friends on her burner account on Instagram texting with? Because they thought they were talking to Celeste. When the investigation first started and they started talking to her friends from social media, they said, when was the last time you talked to Celeste? And they said, maybe mid-August. She's supposed to be dead since April. Who the fuck was they talking to? Who was texting pretending to be her?
Hey, these are things that come out in trial.
They parked the car around the corner from Doheny Place, now Vario Lane. And then they got on a tour bus and left and went on tour. First tour date, San Francisco. Guess what was in the vestibule of the concert hall? A white casket with his merchandise covered in pseudo blood. He was throwing a wake for his alter ego that he killed while her corpse was getting hot and further decomposing in the frunk of his old Tesla from Texas. Yeah, they didn't let him tour. He went on tour. Nobody even knew she was missing or that she was dead when he left. That was supposed to be his fucking alibi. When they discovered her body, he stayed on tour for about another 2 weeks, which kind of made sense considering the world was still in shock from the situation with Charlie Kirk. Because don't forget, she was found on the 8th before we knew who she was or that it was even a female at all. Because the remains were so unrecognizable. And then Charlie Kirk was gone on television in front of the whole world. September 10th. They didn't give acknowledgement that it was Celeste in the car until somewhere in the 20th. And then we were in the middle of the Diddy sentencing. And they were going back and forth about how much time he was going to get and sentencing recommendations. And people were, already doing alibis for David. Oh, there's no way David had anything to do with it. He was on tour. They have videos here, short videos. If anyone tries to accuse D4VD of what happened with his car, he was on tour and he's a really great guy and he's this. They were already running interference for him before anybody found out how depraved the whole situation was. I clipped it because I wanted to save it. I think I'm going to post it back up again. That short, trying to exonerate him before people even found out that he was in a sexual relationship with that little girl that weighed less than 80 pounds. It's it's beyond disturbing. And all the parents was in on it. And it's pretty obvious that the companies were in on it and knew all about it. So what did she die for? I think it's bigger than what they want it to be, because if it is bigger than what they want it to be, then that means there will be other people who will be implicated.
Do you feel, even in David's situation, should the music come into play again? He has
Absolutely. He had her name in songs. He's got a whole song called Romantic Homicide. He's got lyrics talking about, I killed you in my head and I didn't feel a thing. And I put you in my trunk and shit. You think that That's just a metaphor. He did an interview on a podcast talking about Tommy, his alter ego, who planned and committed all of these wild murders in one consciousness. And then when he would wake up, he would be in his consciousness, and he was a detective, and he was investigating all of his murders. Like, this boy is sick. And I do not think he's mentally ill and not mentally competent enough to stand. I think he's competent. When I say he's ill, I mean he's just a sick bastard.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Should he plead insanity in this regard? Because
there's too much corroborating evidence. Excuse me, I'm allergic to bull. There's too much corroborating evidence to prove. He knew exactly what was going on.
I'm allergic to. Oh,
and there's too much that happened to her that lines up with the kind of shit that he's into. His bloodlust. Just the necromancy. Yeah, like, how the hell is his music still playing? How the hell is his shit still being supported? How the hell do they play around and release that says I did it by D4VD and then take it down within 24 hours? You remember when they did that with R. Kelly, right?
Yeah.
I was on the couch. I was there in the studio. And y'all asked me what I thought about who was in the studio. I think it was Jeff, because Jeff brought it up. And he was like, what do you think? R. Kelly just released new music today. Called I Did It. And he was talking about how he likes old women and young women, and peeing on people is okay. And I was sitting right there on the couch. And I sat there and said, oh, love and urine and pedophilia. That's love. We talked about all of that. And y'all said the same thing. It was called I Did It. And they took it down in 24 hours, just like they did with David 4 years ago. Isn't that something?
Ain't that something?
How tacky is that? And anybody can go back on this channel and they can look at the video and they can verify it. How up of a goddamn industry and world are we in that we're actually hearing a repeat on some sick ass nigga in the music industry, and I'm able to call it?
History repeats.
History repeats. It ain't even been 5 years. They just recycling shit. Ignorant, evil, indignant, incarnate shit. His music is still online. His content is still online. People, he's still getting 20 fucking million streams a month. How is it available? How? They muted R. Kelly. Why can't we mute David? He should be muted.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Fuck he is. He's worse than R. Kelly. We ain't never heard about R. Kelly hacking nobody up and putting him in a frunk and leaving him there while he go on tour. We heard about him. He's supposed to have changed some bitch in the basement, and he's singing songs about, in the closet and letting people up so that they can get something to eat, wash their ass, and then getting back in the bed. We done heard him say some out there shit, but he ain't got no bodies.
Yeah, we about to see. We about to see how it goes. In another case, Jag, we got to get your take on this Nolan Wells thing that, kind of took the media by storm in regards to a young black male hanging around.
Took the media by storm, and now everybody done forgot about Carmelo Anthony and that god-awful watermelon fella t-shirt.
Just like that.
Interesting. The author of that t-shirt is the same pussy that had the audacity to sit there with one good eye and call that young man homosexual and say that he got ran through by all those white boys and even accused his own father of abusing him. I hate the fact that that pussy was born on my birthday. I am glad at the fact that he actually looks our age and I don't. People should really pay close attention to that. Charleston and I share the same birthday. We turn 49 on the same day, and yet he is the only one of the two of us that looks our age and getting older by the day. I guess all that lying is catching up to him. It's funny, people try to call me a liar. Doesn't seem to be aging me. I guess I must be living an honest life. Charleston White, son of a bitch. He always playing with somebody's kid. Playing with Gilly's son. Playing with T.I. and Boosie kids. He always playing with somebody's kids. Nolan Wells is dead. And we still don't know how he died. His parents still don't know how he died. And then on top of that, you mixed up the details of his life with another young man who died in Dallas. Damn near the same way. Details terrible. Young Mr. Irvin. Over there, Ray Hubbard.
Yeah.
They got rid of his clothes. They got rid of his phone. They tampered with evidence. They deleted text messages. And nobody's been arrested for anything other than tampering with evidence. And he was on the swim team and drowned. Accomplished swimmer. And drowned. Interesting. Charleston's so busy trying to figure out exactly which black victim he's going to disrespect and use for crowd that he confused Nolan with Irving. Irving was the swimmer. Nolan was the football player. You called Nolan the swimmer, Charleston.
And Charleston don't know what he talking about. He just talking. Stupid boy.
I hope somebody slaps that last eye you got out. You already deaf and dumb. It's time for your to be blind.
What is up? What is up, YouTube? Dang, son. I gotta back up on that.
Jag,
My ties came after you. If my ties came after you, I'd be rejoicing, not cursing. You be gone. You goofy ass making up. You and that Dr. Matthews. What the fuck happened to either the both of you? You was over there at Carmelo Anthony's trial. Dr. Matthews show up. Yeah, we're doing this and we're doing that. And she done disappeared. Now she's your reason for being in Houston with my ties, so-called. Ain't nobody come after you. You wouldn't be much to handle. You goofball. Not get no fucking Frederick Jolly thinks you the best thing that ever happened to podcasts. I'm telling you now, bitch, I guarantee you, because I seen it in a dream, your days are few. People are tired of you. And the government ain't gonna have much use for you because if don't nobody believe that you a snitch ass fuck by now, they should know. They sat you up there underneath that boy and his family. Them humble Louisiana folk. And you sat there and you played with their mind and you got them to trust a system you knew was gonna fuck them over. And then as soon it was, you fucking come up with that t-shirt Somebody ought to bust your watermelon open, bitch. You keep playing with people's kids. Kids you got, they might not be so safe in the future. I've got a bad habit of calling things for the future. You better slow down. You better slow down. I call it on you. I shouldn't be sharing birthdays with you much longer, bitch. Now back to Nolan Wells, you were saying.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's gone. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But
no, we didn't really get into it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
I had a moment.
Yeah, obviously, the Nolan Wells thing. Of course, it was a missing person report, and then it turns out that, of course, a situation happened. Now there's police calls that people listen to. Where do you feel it's a full cover up? Do you feel like someone should just come out and say, "Hey, this is what happened"?
They're playing with it. I feel like they're playing with it, and everybody's playing with it. But the person that I'm most disgusted with is Ben Crump.
Why so?
Because they're using this boy to spark votes for the Democratic Party. I do believe that in my heart of hearts. They want to win these generals, come hell or come high water, and they just need the right movement. And this dead young boy and all of these political pundits and avatars around it. If Ben Crump was really worried about upholding the decency and legacy of Nolan Wells' name, that viral clip of Charleston White talking shit about that boy would have been met with a cease and desist, a demand letter, and threat of lawsuit for Terrence Gangster Williams' platform and Charleston White. If Ben Crump was about business. If Ben Crump was about business. Brandon Tatum, the Taters, would be good and shut the fuck up right now with a gag order calling that kid a drug addict and licking little lily white Mississippi boy ass to boot. And Brandon Tatum is still doing interviews. What's the whole purpose of all of this nigga show? You got Al Sharpton, you got black athletes, you raising all of this money, doing all of this shit. You can't use none of that to shut these pussies the fuck up. Am I the only one that gives a shit about the quality of that dead young man's name? Even his parents is busy, running from city to city and state to state. They've been on television more than they've cried for their dead child because these Democratic keeping them so busy because we're going to get justice. We're going to get justice. And I'll bet you don't happen. But maybe some money and a bunch of speeches for the Democratic National Convention Party through these generals.
Yeah, whenever you see them, of course, seeing Black Death at the hands of a possible white person, white kid or whatever, that they try to bring race involved. You see the Ben Crumps, you see the Lee Merritts and the things of that nature. Do you feel they always have to, like, when you see them try to make it a racial issue?
On an election year, absolutely. Carmelo Anthony got the racial divide all stirred up, but because he was the one that protected his life against that young white man, and I do believe it was nothing more than manslaughter. I'm sick and tired of them calling that boy a murderer. They've done too much lying about the details for Carmelo Anthony. He deserves a new trial. Everybody's so busy talking about Nolan Wells. Ain't nobody talking about the updates anymore on Carmelo Anthony's case. Come August, there are 2 hearings that are coming. You hear that, Dr. Matthews? Are you going to be there with your camera crew trying to make people taste the ancestors? Kiss my ass. Fake revolutionaries, and you have the audacity to use Black Panther. Nigger cat. Bet you'll get out of me. Updates on Carmelo Anthony. There will be a hearing to see whether or not Judge Roach will be replaced. And I pray to God he is. And the day after that, there will be a hearing to see if he will get a new trial, which I pray to God he receives.
Yeah, where do you feel the first trial went wrong? Just from you knowing the details of what you know about that trial, where did they go wrong with
Second,
him
that
getting?
they tricked that boy into not testifying on his own behalf because they promised him that all prior bad acts would stay out. And then they flipped on trial and used that agreement against him. Jury selection is where I believe things went wrong with that trial. 3 Black educators that were barred from sitting on that jury because they were afraid of bias, and replaced them with non-Black people of color who have absolutely nothing for that little country family. The simple fact that they let Jake Lang carry on outside as long as they did before he was arrested after threatening that jury to do exactly what they did. Now, it was cute, the $1 million bond. Unfortunately, they dropped it down to $250,000, which was enough money in his give, sing, go for him to bond himself out, go to California, and get his whooped at the BET Awards.
Damn.
Just in time. His bond got dropped just in the nick of time, almost like this shit is being orchestrated. The biggest problem and fault that I blame for what happened to the Anthony family is Charleston White. He sat there and cozied himself up to those people, told those people to trust the process, told those people to trust the lawyers, told those people to trust the judge, told those people to trust. He sat there and used his celebrity to play all over that family and then turn around and stabbed him in the back and then tried to turn a profit on it. You're gonna go to hell, bitch. And I hope you end up in a burning watermelon. And I hope the devil shit in your mouth until all your eye come out. We have to do better. We're failing these kids. We're failing our children. Our children are being used to stoke algorithms to make millions for the media machines while they suffer. Unfairly tried and thrown in jail in TDC in less than 24 hours. Since fucking when does anybody pull chain that fast? Since when? Not even
no, that
Diddy
was
went
tough.
to prison that fast. Not even Diddy went to prison that fast. And they still lying about what happened up underneath that tent. Still. Biggest mistake the Anthony family ever made was to trust Charleston White. Because he did them just like he did Dewberry. If I ever get the chance to stand over top of you, I promise you I'ma spit right in your face. Where's Ben Crump?
That's very vivid.
Where is Ben Crump? What is he doing? He's in Cincinnati, Ohio today. Got the parents talking in front of a bunch of fucking frats at some Omega Psi-Phi fucking conclave. Why ain't you shutting these weirdos up that's talking about this child? Gag. Cease. Desist. All videos removed. Fuck good are you for? Run everybody around and keep them in a fucking press conference until somebody wins an election. Eat a dick. That's why Tamir Rice's mom fucking fired you, Crump. You worried about the wrong shit. Who's protecting this child's name? Nathan Tatum? Running away. Acting a fool. Mr. I went to Israel and only got spit in the face once by a little Israeli brat. And they're good people for $7,000 a video. Fuck me. And we supposed to believe anything that's happening? Even TMZ is running with the fake audio. With an extra 20 seconds attached to the original recording. Ain't that something? You want to know how long all of that audio, that funky Don Neva was sitting over there with Don Lemon hollering, screaming, and getting all emotional about? You Barry. See, guys, I'm getting better. I didn't say the FAG word. Bitchy Don Neva. Did you hear what they said? Did you hear what they said? That little clip that y'all listened to was about 20 seconds leading into the time that the woman Vicky started speaking to them. They said there was an extra 20 seconds that was added on to that recording. That wasn't a part of the original recording. Isn't that funny? The 20 seconds of the so-called smoking gun evidence is the same amount of time as what they said was added to the original recording. Interesting.
Without question, jeez.
If I didn't know any better, I would think that somebody cleverly overlaid all of that shit just to leak it out to the public so that the content creators in the media machine would go wild and the numbers on the algorithm would go up and everybody could make that big money like Freaky Freddy Jala. And I could do anything but sell tickets playing basketball TV. Now everybody going after Tatum, Tatum going after everybody, and the circus is just circusing. Meanwhile, all the real evidence is sealed. The only thing we know came out of Washington, D.C. from the good Dr. Mitchell, who made it very clear that his autopsy, though extremely thorough, could be nothing more than incomplete because he didn't have everything that he needed. Meanwhile, everything that is needed is under seal, lock, and key, and will not, even though The autopsy in Mississippi has been complete. The details will not be released until the grand jury, which the DA gets to decide. It could be next week, it could be next year. Who knows? But the boys who are being maligned and low-key accused of potentially doing something to Nolan, they're successfully suing everybody. They're going after content creators. There's a content creator from Sacramento, California, already arrested in Mississippi by the feds, and Ben Crump can't find a way to shut the fuck up all these weirdos like Brandon Tatum and Charleston White. It's weird. It's almost as if y'all want that shit to keep going. Keep the engagement going. Make sure everything is raised real high. Keep the emotions real high. Make sure everybody's caught up into they racial this and they racial that, so the Democrats can come out swinging and get rid of the big bad GOP because they're the racists, and look, we can prove it. Look at what they did to Nolan. Look at what they did to Irving. Look at what they did to that little boy in Kentucky. Vote for our demonic asses. Y'all ain't no fucking better than the goddamn Republicans. You're just better at fucking over black people. That's all. 'Cause y'all pretend like you care. You mean? That's why I left the North and moved to the South. At least in the South, they're honest about their racism. Hate me to my face. Don't smile at me and pretend to be my friend and act like you give a damn. And then go off and do whatever the fuck you want to do and make your money. I'm supposed to believe that Al Sharpton gives a shit about what happens to that boy when just last summer he was busy over there worrying about doing the bidding of Roc Nation. Roc Nation, whose CEO is Desiree Perez. Desiree Perez, the same Desiree Perez who's the mother of DeMaure Hadley. DeMaure Hadley, who's married to Javon Hadley, who is an African-American man that the CEO of Roc Nation tried to have convicted of rape and sex trafficking. Her own daughter.
Y'all better listen to this. Y'all better listen to this Al Sharpton, man. He pissed me off, man, because all they see is money. And they think we don't see it. Well, he think he all for black people. Nah, you ain't for no black people. You for that money. You want to help black people, you in a position where you can seriously help us. But you refuse to. You just want to be on TV with your skinny self, show everybody all the weight you done lost. I don't like the dude, man. I'm sorry. At least he out there trying to do something for himself.
Nation tried to have convicted of rape and sex trafficking. Her own daughter, who he's married to, she was willing to destroy a young black man's life and throw him in jail for God knows how long because she couldn't get him away from her daughter and she couldn't make her daughter stop loving a black man. The irony that a bitch could do some off shit like that. CEO of a company that lords over so many great black talents. And meanwhile, Al Sharpton was trying to help that bitch get a casino bid. But he do this. He do that. I guess you doing Nolan Wells to try to get the stink of that failed casino fucking bid off of you and working for that Latino bitch who don't give no black people. I'm sorry, y'all. Am I too emotional today?
No, you're right on point. Just single out. But Jack, speaking of Roc Nation, we have to speak on it. The last time you came in, we spoke on, of course, you know, Jay-Z mentioning your name during his Roots picnic set. And then, of course, we knew that his tour was coming. And you had mentioned as far as, or, you know, Dame had mentioned, Dame Dash, like, hey, he should cut off the dreads. He should cut off the fro, go back to the Caesar with the deep waves, I guess, as Beyonce says. And he sure enough does it. In fact, he starts off the concert by showing Beyonce, you know, I guess getting his hair and getting him right to have it all cut at the Yankee Stadium. And then the concert, the 3-day concert begins. Let's just start with your take on the whole event. Was it Black excellence?
How can it be Black excellence? Tiana Taylor sound like a dead animal. People making memes of Rihanna calling her a dressed up roach while she's running around drunk as hell. She should have been the one singing Drunken Love. Meanwhile, you got Beyonce singing Mary J. Blige song. and then everybody want to put up memes about who sounds better. Well, of course you know who sounds better. But I do believe she was lip singing to pre-recorded live studio track to make herself sound perfect because everybody else had a bit of a struggle trying to hear. She is an accomplished lip sync artist, so she's been doing it for years. No different than everybody else in the game. What do I think of it? I think he should stop doing freestyles because I don't think anybody understands that shit. I think he should stop doing freestyles. I think he should stop staging public chaos to make it look like everybody just can't wait to get near him. I think they should all get real.
Wait, do you feel that was staged as far as the people waiting outside in New York?
From what I heard from people who, you know, that I won't put out there because I don't want to have them looking crazy, you know, knowing me. If you Illuminati adjacent, that's bad for your future. But yeah, from what I heard, that was all staged to try to create some kind of chaos. Because, I mean, the truth is there were people that came from out of state that couldn't even get in, that spent $3,000 for a ticket and couldn't get in, got barred from, like, they did all kinds of that weekend. And all of that for what? To see a variety show? Jay-Z and Friends? It was about as original as the Little Miss Drama Tour. That bitch can't do a fucking show without a cameo, without 18 fucking cameos either. You know when artists do stuff like that? When they know no one will really be interested in just seeing them the whole time. True artists do their own show. If they have a cameo, it might be one. I mean, literally, that was a whole variety show he pulled off. And nobody bothered to notice him struggling through those songs.
You know,
Over the hill.
It's the
Over the hill.
Was it 30-year anniversary?
Hang it up. Hang it up. Let it go. Just start working on your bid for being senator, which I promise you I will do and say whatever I need to do to make sure don't nobody want to vote for you. If you think that a bitch like me with breath in my lungs is going to allow you to go and become a fucking senator, you're out of your goddamn mind. Oh, no. Oh, no. And Memphis Bleak, shut the fuck up. You can run around cussing everybody out all you want. You can say whatever you want to say. Understand this. People take you as seriously now as they did in the 90s. Not at all. The only thing we waiting to find out is if there's any pictures or footage of you sucking a Jigga man's dick. Physically. We already know you do it figuratively.
God damn.
But hey, gotta work. It's a terrible economy. What the fuck did he do without pushing that you say around? That overpriced shit. It ain't that great. It tastes better than the Sir Davis. From what I've heard, I heard that Sir Davis tastes like cheap Hennessy. Meanwhile, they done fuck nearly fuller. You know, they talk about everything that Trump touches dies. I think everything that Roc Nation touches dies. Has you seen the exposure about Tidal lately? How he robbed everybody and tricked everybody into signing that paperwork that didn't mean shit because they never actually signed any paperwork to have any real ownership. So technically, the reason why Nicki Minaj is sitting there crying about not getting no money is because there was no money to get because none of y'all stupid actually signed any real paperwork. All of y'all signed were what do they call them? What is it? A declaration that you're going to go into business, not that you're actually in business. I guess that's why they offered you the $1 million, Nikki. Because technically, they didn't have to give you anything.
But
Y'all were never actually in business. Oops.
But don't these people got lawyers? If they doing a business that big, Jay-Z don't even got lawyers, and his lawyers say, you know what, I'm gonna make it seem like we're going into business together, but this is just a law. We're going into a meeting together, not a business. Make it sound like that. So they sign the paper and they look around and say, oh, well, Nicki Minaj, I said Mickey Minaj, Nicki Minaj and whoever else went into business with him. They don't have no lawyers to look over this paperwork, and the lawyers say, yo, man, this don't say you going in the business. This says you about to get food. Bullshit. Bullshit. Damn, man, look at this.
And as if that ain't bad enough, she got Trump running around calling her a bobblehead dumbass who sits in political functions. And when she hears, get down, she starts twerking like a whore.
He did say that. He did say that.
Damn. Damn.
And you thought he was propping you up because I wasn't playing ball, right? Look at who gets to keep their dignity. Next thing you know, Elon Musk gonna be asking you for a blowjob and telling you to have your husband Zoo watch the door. Make sure the baby don't walk in.
Damn,
I'm sorry.
Jack, real quick before we're gonna come back to the Jay-Z situation, but we gotta, speaking of babies, it was stated that Krishan Rock's child, I don't want to go too far into the child itself, but the child is still.
Oh, you talking about Ronnie Doe?
Oh man.
Or you talking about something else?
No, I'm thinking of Krishan Rock and Blueface, and
what about him?
The child is still nonverbal, still not walking. Krishan and Blueface are now kind of intertangling with each other, getting back together, and it's confusing the youth, man, as far as what toxic relationships look like. Well, I got to get your take on it,
they
because
all sat there on that god awful app from hell that Lemmy got, that Zeus foolishness. That's the third realm of hell. Y'all didn't know? They saw her while she was pregnant, stomach sitting out, drinking liquor straight from the bottle and smoking weed. What did y'all think was going to happen to that child? And God help me. But I literally heard a content creator say the other day, if she was going to do all of that while she was pregnant, she should have waited until she was at least 6 or 7 months and the baby had developed. I actually heard a content creator say that. Drinking hard liquor and doing any kind of psychedelic or hallucination based anything while you're pregnant, any stage is dangerous. But the later you wait, the more dangerous it becomes. Can it create deformities in the early months, in the early trimester? Absolutely, but it can actually take the child's life, because once the baby develops lungs and develops the brain, even though the organs are small and still growing, they actually start ingesting that directly. If she had waited, she most likely would have deleted Junior. And as terrible as that sounds, she had him, and look what that little boy suffers with.
Oh man.
That's what Zeus, no, for real, that's what Zeus did. That's what Zeus did. That's what they encouraged. They should have shut that girl down. They're accomplices in destroying that little boy. And I pray to God that if she does go to prison for conspiracy to remove Ronnie Doe from this planet, I pray to God that whoever takes that child over sues Zeus Network for millions for what they allowed on film to happen to that baby and profited from heavily. And shame on all you subscribers. Because the truth is, the second y'all seen that shit going down, you all should have got the fuck on the phone. You should have discontinued your Zeus accounts, and y'all should have called Child Protective Services until she was arrested before that child was born. It's terrible. But she's talking to the police now without a lawyer present, so she might end up just taking care of herself.
Yeah, Trap Lore, Ross was, commenting on her situation where she had
I heard
allegedly.
he's a fat little pudgy son of a bitch. Did you know that?
He looks
He's
slim.
a fat little bitch. Huh?
He looks slim.
Just from the neck.
Damn.
He fat. He's been over there at the David trial. Little pudgy little bitch.
And no, he says Krishan is allegedly.
He's like the white Flacco.
Damn.
They should get together and start podding together. We can call them the Ebony and Ivory or fucking snitch bitch on YouTube.
What are your thoughts when he says that Krishan is allegedly hiding or covering up 3 bodies? Her baby daddy, 2 others.
I don't know. He's inflammatory, and it's a possibility. I mean, I think he might be referring to that incident that happened that allegedly Ronnie Doe was the one to take people out on behalf of Krishan. I guess that's what he's talking about. I mean, even Blueface has said that she's a setup queen. And I think part of the reason why he's cozying up to her is probably because she got some shit on him and they need the content to get boring, right? Because that's their whole thing, right? They get together and they become real toxic, and then everyone watches, right? And then they make money, and they're doing less interviews, and people are becoming less and less interested. And not even her hanging around with that weirdo Clarissa Shields is helping. Not that it would. Like, let's just be honest, that bitch, she destroyed her life when she signed that terrible ass contract with Win Records, a record company that didn't exist till a year ago, and even the bones of it, starting all the way back from when it started in Texas, that whole shit is a sham. Like, when have you ever heard of nurse practitioners running record labels and then getting into boxing? You ever heard of that? Win Records literally on the books has more lien on their shit than a Houston Trail rapper. They got lien on everything. Lien on this company, lien on that property, lien on it, lien on me.
Yeah, shit, lean in the cup.
If
Yeah.
you're a fraud,
Jack, I
I'll
really,
take your hand and then take all your money and be gone. Oh, for it won't be long till I'm gonna leave on all of your properties. Lean on me. Yeah, they got them lean.
Always the voice. Always the voice.
They got them lean.
Jack, to switch gears for a second, I gotta ask you, congrats to the Michael biopic. It reached over $1 billion, the highest grossing biopic ever. It says that, congratulations to the whole team with that one. But it says that, of course, you make that much money, it's got to be a part two. So they're already working on part 2. Mm-hmm. They said they're already a third way finished.
Well, that was in the process. That was in the process all along. From what I was told, the actual blueprint was to do it in 3 parts. So it should happen, all 3. It should happen.
Now, if they go into this next movie, because they stayed away from any allegations in the first movie. It was only about the music, the entertainment.
I believe they're going to go into the allegations on the next one, because time-wise, chronologically, that would be correct. That would be the next act. The 1993 accusations. That
correct. And Michael admitted to actually having boys in his room sleeping, but of course of an innocent nature. If they put that on camera, as far as little boys sleeping in his room as a grown man, do you feel that will be doing the story justice or injustice?
Well, as long as they depict it accurately, with the children sleeping on the bed and him sleeping on the floor like he said he did, and like the children corroborated he did. And may God have mercy on your soul, Wade Robson. Not only did you fuck his niece Brandy, you actually fucked him too in his death.
Damn.
I hope you can live with yourself. I hope you can live with yourself. The shit people do for money, it's unbelievable.
And something like a Michael biopic, of course, beloved around the world.
I got something to say. Nah, the things that people do that they think they're going to get some money is what scares me. They would, like Keefe D is in jail. He thought he was going to get some money if he had anything to do with what happened. Do you feel me, right? The things people do when they think they're going to get some money is the craziest thing to me. Not for the money. They ain't even got the money yet, and they done did it. You got to think about that, man. I'm a realist when it comes to this stuff, man. I speak straight on the facts. There's so many people in jail because they did something, and they ain't even get paid for it. I call y'all back. I call you back.
Is Prince do a biopic?
I think there's somebody, I think I heard someone said that they were working on one, and I don't think he would have liked that. I don't think he would have liked that at all. I think he would have definitely approved of a documentary or a documentary series. I definitely think he would have appreciated that. I don't think he would appreciate, because the truth is there's no one that could play Prince. Well, let me take that back. There's only one person that I think now, with some slight makeup changes, could pull it off authentically without it looking like, Dave Chappelle being an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Duran Bernard, I think he could pull it off.
Oh, I can see that.
I think if they do a Prince biopic, that has to be the only person that they choose.
There's a height difference there that you have to
Doesn't matter.
you have to factor that in.
Matter. It doesn't matter. They made Coleman Domingo Joe Jackson. It doesn't matter.
For real.
Jeff, one of the best Martin Luther King, what is it? Get on the Bus for HBO. That was played by Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright is a high yellow black man. Martin Luther King was brown, dark brown, like your complexion.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what I said. Like makeup, they would have to, they would have to do something and do some camera tricks. Maybe his heels couldn't be as high. But the spirit, the energy. I watched a short of Duran Bernard the other day, and he was voguing and dancing and falling down to the floor and throwing up his leg and then popping up and just, I'm a pony. It was amazing. That's the kind of energy that it takes to play a character like Prince. And his weight. I think he would be able to get his sauciness, sassiness. And I think he would be able to get into his depth. If I were going to be a filmmaker and make a Prince biopic, I would be casting Duran Bernard.
That's a good casting choice.
And if not him, Robbie Raw. Robbie Raw would have to be understudy. And Robbie, I'm not saying this because you're a second choice, not saying this at all, but you know how the movie game works. They're always going to go for the name that has the biggest, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo at the time. And right now, let's just be honest, Duran is killing it. He's killing it, and nobody can take that from him. Nobody can take that from him. But if he were not the choice, it would have to be Robbie Raw. And if you don't know who Robbie Raw is, you need to go on Instagram and you need to check him out and tell him the Jaguar sent you. He's the reason why, in my opinion, Janelle Monáe is dope at all. She built her career pretending to be him, in my opinion. Well, let me not say pretending. Emulating his genius.
Yes.
Once upon a time, they used to be the best of friends. But he is probably one of the best kept secrets in Atlanta. And he also has that Prince spirit. Like he's a little bit of Prince, a little bit of Stevie Wonder, a little bit of Michael Jackson, all roll in one. And he's the right height. Oh God!
If they were to pull out Flex Alexander to play Prince, I'm just messing with you.
Like Dave, you mean like to do a remake of Dave Chappelle playing Prince?
Right.
Because that would be right. That would be about right.
No, definitely. let me get your take.
Wins. Yeah.
Let me get your take. Chris Brown ended up pleading guilty, and he's on this tour, the R&B tour with him and Usher. The two accolades. People are looking at like a versus.
And no little girls in his front.
No little girls in his funk. They're saying that he's facing up to 3 years, and he made
as much as 3 years, or the judge could choose to give him a suspended sentence, probation, and a hefty fine. That's what I'm hearing from sources in the UK. I think that's probably how it's going to go.
So give us your take. I know you've had your criticism on Usher and Chris Brown. You spoke on them in the past.
I've told no lies. And I'm actually glad they went on tour together so I can be proven right again.
But Usher gonna put them skates.
Usher sitting there, he's sitting there ticking, looking like he's having a stroke. It's disgusting. It's late. It is so late. It is so over. Like, come on. He's ticking, and Chris Brown is doing like effortless backflips and dancing, and he's doing his set, and then doing his set with Usher, and then making Usher look good, and then killing it, and then Usher's coming out on stage, getting undressed. You know what I mean? Like, and then they made that big deal about that little light-skinned girl that didn't give him the action that he wanted on stage, and I'm like, she probably was afraid she was gonna catch a never-ending rash.
God damn.
Who wants you? Really? Sweating all over them with your medical history. Who? I saw the way she looked at you. I thought it was quite appropriate. Poor thing. Anyway, he married. Why you always trying to sweat all over a bitch? Ain't you married to that boy girl looking woman? Go sweat on her.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris Brown killing it. Like, if you go and you look, even the clips from the tour, there's like 80 million more times like clips of Chris than there are of Usher. And Chris's clips are amazing. Matter of fact, the only clip that's going viral right now is Usher singing Let It Burn, walking down stage, pouring water, and then the next thing you know, poor Mario comes out, slips on the water, and busts his ass.
Yeah, we saw that. God damn.
That's the most viral clip that they have of Usher. Sabotaging Mario because Mario still sings better than you. Always will. Struggling with that falsetto. Woo! Let it burn. He needs to let it burn out. Please retire after this. Please retire, Mr. Raymond. Please.
No, it's funny.
And retire from that Boys and Girls Club that you got up there in Detroit. It doesn't need to become another flavor camp.
It's funny because we talked about, artists getting into the retirement stage and legacy of their career. And, we spoke on the females, with Cardi B, Lotto, Megan Thee Stallion, WAP, how legacy those acts could become as they get older. Like, how will people show up for the female rap artists?
See, it's funny that you say that because something really weird happened today on TMZ before we sat down together. What's her name? Oh my goodness, I just forgot her name. It's been so long since I've heard it and said it, but she used to be an actress on a late night soap opera that my mom used to watch. She used to come on Thursday nights back in the 80s and early 90s called Knots Landing. She's 85 years old. If you go and look it up, 85-year-old actress from Knots Landing started her OnlyFans account.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Wait a minute. What?
Grab your phone and look it up. 85-year-old actress, soap opera actress, Knots Landing started her OnlyFans account.
Yeah, I got to keep that on my algorithm.
She was interviewing with Harvey about it. And Harvey said, well, I don't know how well you know the platform, but you know, they might want to watch you do more than housekeeping and mopping the floor and cooking. They might want you, you know, to get a little spicy. And she says, well, you know, whatever the fans want, I'll have to see how I feel about it. I don't know. I might.
Oh, not the guilt. Not the guilt.
Nana. On OnlyFans. See, I blame you, Stacey Dash. You giving these old bitches 85.
Yeah, great grandmother. Okay.
OnlyFans.
What?
And Harvey told her she should lean in to the X-rated content because she could make good money. Harvey told her to lean in. Harvey.
Damn, with a senior citizen discount. Damn.
Can you imagine? It would be like a scene out of There's Something About Mary. Her and the little dog.
Damn, Miss Donna Mills. Wait a minute, man.
Tripping out.
Knots Landing star Donna Mills joins fans only at the age of 85. Wow, that's crazy, young. Oh my God. Well, I got to show it to y'all, man. Yeah, you know, I'm like Ticket on this joint, man. I try to bring the realness. Look at this. No thanks. No thanks. I don't know what this is. Just dust. Look, I'm almost finished, y'all. I had to go get some more wood. That's oh my God, young. Oh yeah, she fine right there. But I mean, beauty, dude. The older you get, the less beauty fades. When are y'all gonna learn that? I know beauty fades. So yeah. Oh my God. Dude, look at her neck. Look at her hands. Unless it's some old people that like that, I don't. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, she thinking all that makeup and look at her hands. Grandma. If I'm looking at, I don't know, what they call it, OnlyFans or fans only or whatever you call that thing, I don't think I want to see this. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe see, I ain't into that stuff, so I don't know what they looking for up there. But let's continue. Let's keep going. Here we go.
I don't speed, sunbathing, and carrying on like Magda.
Yeah, no, that's that lets you know what the world is coming to.
85 on OnlyFans.
So who do you blame that? Is that like a problem with Social Security? Or is that a government issue? Like who
Absolutely. You know the economy bad if you got 85-year-olds ready to toss it up and bust it down and bust it open, bust it on OnlyFans. Stacey Dash is 60 years old with a lollipop and cornrows. So I needed a round the way girl.
Jack, speaking of the economy, you know, I got to get your take. You know, Trump had made mention that he wanted, if he could, to make a $250 bill, put his face on it. Yeah. Is that a need? I know they got rid of the penny, you know, to save some money. They said no more pennies are going to be made.
No more pennies?
Yeah, they said we're no longer creating any more pennies.
What do I get to throw at strippers?
Oh, shit.
Put his tail on a penny. Bring the penny back and put Trump on it. It cut it in half.
Do we need a $250 bill? Do you feel like that's something that that'll be used in the economy? I remember we used to have a $1,000 bill that went away back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, America's always, you know, coming with some interesting bill. You know, I used to collect $2 bills when I was a kid.
Yeah, I actually still try to collect them now if I can find them.
250? 4 of them make 1,000? I mean, I think it could be good, like eco-wise for strippers. Less paper to throw around.
Damn.
You know, 4 lap dances and hope to get 4 of those. Might be kinder on the knees.
Oh God.
You know, it could work on a bad date. You know, just slap one of them hoes down on the table and say, if that ain't enough, bitch, you're gonna have to work it out. And walk away.
Bring me my change. Oh my God. Oh.
They do change now. They still do change. I thought when you gave up money, they just said, fuck you.
Yeah, some places. Well, on the other side of that, Trump is incorporating that with his administration that they bring back prayers in school, like how you used to pray in the morning, outside of Pledge of Allegiance. They're trying to bring that.
That's amazing. That's the most wonderful thing that I've heard him say he wanted to do. And Christ, the question is who they're gonna be praying to? Jesus or Baal?
That is the question.
See, the prayer part I'm cool with. It's just who they gonna have them praying to? Because they don't do the Pledge of Allegiance anymore. I just found that out. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, they killed that.
So I mean, these kids need prayer. Just who they gonna be praying to? We got to get clear on that because right now we're having a bail issue in the United States. You want to know what else? Fun little fact. I was looking at hand symbolisms and the hand signs that are, associated with the Illuminati. The fist, the this, the one that Alicia Keys did at the Grammys, the this, saw above and saw below either one.
Sometimes you gotta stand up and teach them a lesson. When you're building stuff and when you're doing things, you win. Don't let nothing else win but you. Let's go.
One you to do. And then the okay one, which I've told you guys about. And then there's this one, which you guys know all about. But the other one tripped me out. Palm over the heart.
That's a new one.
It's been around. I got the chart. I'll text it to you.
Yeah, I gotta see that. Speaking of Illuminati,
you want to know what's wild though? Think about how we did the Pledge of Allegiance when we were kids.
Oh yeah.
Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, the United States of America.
That's crazy. Michael Fishman is the and Omar Gooding said back.
Hand symbolisms have been around, for ages.
Yeah.
Technically, it was the original. It's the way monkeys still speak, or apes, or primates, and it's the way we used to speak. I guess in the Neanderthal before we had communication. So
blame it on the monkeys.
You gotta blame it on
these people. Y'all don't have no type of education. Y'all think Uncle Mike dumb? Who taught the monkeys sign language or hand language or gestures? We did. You think they just came up with that on their own? Come on, dog. Are y'all serious? You think the monkey said, you know what, monkey, I'm gonna do this. And you supposed to know what that means. That means food. I want food. Nah, we taught the monkeys how to communicate with each other. God, dog, boy, y'all. Oh my God. They just run with it. My bad. And hand gestures been used way in slavery when the slaves was running away. I mean, they can't talk for far away. If they doing a certain dance, they letting people know they coming from this side. We got dances. Everybody keep doing the same. And they saying Uncle Mike is the dumb one. God, to be more careful. Yeah, hand language and everything has been around for quite some time.
Or apes, or primates, and the way we used to speak, I guess, in the Neanderthal before we had communication. So
they blame it on the monkeys.
You gotta blame it on the monkey.
Hey, with the monkeys. And people say, "Well, monkey, you around." It's crazy. Leave the monkeys alone. What you were saying?
Yeah, no, that's wrong. Speaking of ancient history, I got to get your take on this movie, The Odyssey, that has broken records.
Yes.
It has gone. It's on its way to $1 billion. I think
let Michael Jackson just live a little bit longer. They had to find something.
Christopher Nolan comes into play. He has to. You move the summer around for him, but the movie you have history of the Odyssey and the Iliad. Homer's. Yeah, and then you see like a Lupita Nyong'o playing Helen of Troy. You have Travis Scott in there. And you see them putting these black actors where there was a lot of uproar about these actors playing these parts. What is your take on the uproar that happened before the movie came? Before they even seen it, they were upset about a black woman playing Helen of Troy.
Oh, absolutely. I could see that. They're used to having the idea of her being milky white with long blonde hair and blue eyes. And they can't imagine two nations fighting to the death over beautiful black porcelain. They can't imagine it. Which is all the more reason why I'm not quite sure I like the idea of Christopher Nolan doing it, because he is extremely brilliant. I've been following his work for quite some time. He is very, very calculated, very intelligent, and he knows what he's doing when he puts things into film. He knew her in that role was going to create that kind of outrage. So my question is why did you do it, Christopher? Or better yet, who asked you to do it?
Oh.
And what did they promise you for your budget, if you did? Usually he doesn't create spectacle around his work. He likes people to be in awe of the work overall. One of my favorite films by him is Inception. Very, very thoughtful films he makes. Even what he did with the Batman series, like the dignity and the intelligence he brought to it, he made it so much more than just a hammy cartoon character brought to life. He gave it reality. He breathed reality into it. And as much as I have affinity for Lupita Nyong'o as an actress, going all the way back to 12 Years a Slave, I don't know why they chose to do it, and I don't know why she chose to accept it, because I think everybody involved in that film knew that was going to start some shit. Well, don't nobody want to see her as that. Nobody wants that imagination, and you can't say that it's for Black pride, because we don't need it. Like, let's just be clear, no disrespect, but Greek history is deviant history.
Yeah.
Like, even the term, do you do it Greek? And cunnilingus and all of that shit. It's all freak deviant shit. Yeah. Greek means anal. So I can understand why Travis Scott is in the film.
God damn.
But, some Like Greek history is some dark, deviant history.
Oh yeah, yeah. The way the gods.
And pretty much all of it is stolen from Ethiopian history and Kemetic sciences and frauded off as their own. And they just took all of the old African gods and then they put them through like this abomination thing, and that's how we got Iliad. So yeah, I mean, I watched it and it was cool. You know, my partner fell asleep. And I mean, but, you know, he had already read, you know, he read it just like I read it. And as much as I love Christopher Nolan and as amazing a job as, and salute to Matt Damon, because I don't think I've said that yet. Matt Damon did a fantastic job. Like he really did.
I thought he was at his end when it comes to playing those action roles, and
and he's in such, like, he is such a committed, he's so committed. Like the shape that he got in to play that role, and the way he's in his 50s now. Like
him and Christopher Nolan are like a year apart, if not the same age.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
I'm not even sure if he's ever done a Christopher Nolan. I don't think he's ever done a Christopher Nolan film before.
No.
I think this was a first. So yeah, no, I mean, from artistic,
I think he might have been in Interstellar, if I'm not mistaken. But
Interstellar, yeah, I never watched that one.
You never watched Interstellar? Interstellar and Memento.
Memento's cool. The other one with the black guy.
Tenet, which is Denzel's son?
Tenet.
Yes.
With the time traveling. As much as I wanted to like it, it became tedious.
Yeah, gotta pull out your notepad.
It became tedious. And it was great character development. It was a great script. It was like quantum physics version of Inception. Awesome.
Yes, without question.
As a concept. But as a movie, tedious, you know, because a really intelligent mind is going to try to keep up with staying connected to the character and staying present to what is actually happening. Quantum physics in real time, right? So yeah, it was tedious.
You know, on the other side, you know, we spoke on The Matrix before, and I look at Matrix as probably one of the top 5 films as far as just going into science fiction. And you know, they're about to make a part 5 to The Matrix, but it's not going to be with the original brothers, as part 4 was without one. But I was going to say, like, how does half middle-aged men, brothers, both become women? Like, what you know? That actually frustrates me a little bit.
Paying back taxes.
That's what someone said. Like, this is a way there must be some benefits as becoming a woman or change your identity that you could get away with or something. She just smiles.
Hell of a way to get out of paying back taxes.
Man, I tell you. You know, Jag, you know, we just had Omar Gooding and Michael Fishman from Roseanne, who played DJ, her son, on that show, and they both did an interview together. Yeah. And at the very end of that, we asked them about, you know, with children stuff going on in Hollywood. We asked them about the Illuminati, and all they could do is look at each other and walk off camera. You know,
honest answer. Honest answer. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
what were they supposed to say? I'm sure they both want to still work in some capacity. I don't give no fuck. I'm done with it all. I'm perfectly fine with it. I've made my peace with it. See, I hope their reaction or the antics that you guys have had to endure with your visits from Orlando Brown, or watching the chicks who are still trying to become relevant sit there and try to undermine it while you can tell they're lying through their fucking backs. Like, I hope that all of that shit gives you guys a greater appreciation of talking to me.
Without question.
Because, see, I'm just going to tell you the truth. No bullshit. I'm not going to pull any punches. And I get to do that. I get to do that freely. My mother's middle name was Marie, and my last name is Wright. And somebody's going to understand all of that one day. And I'm telling you, it's never going to happen. It's never going to be what you want it to be. But it is going to be exactly what I've said it's been. And it's going to continue to be that. Until it all falls down. I've done about as much as I can to tip this over and to create some real one-eyed Odyssey monster ogre come and destroy eat little evil bit shit. Like, I've done all that I can do. The only thing I can do now is just stand. And keep standing. And I will. I was supposed to have been out of here a long time ago. I was supposed to have been dead a long time ago. I've watched people actively plan the end of my life and try to execute it. And God said no, and I'm still here. And I'm going to stay here. But I think people really need to understand that these people are terrified. They're terrified to even speak the truth, even for a second. They're terrified. But it's because they still need it. I don't. I did an interview with an old acquaintance named Jonesy. Have you ever heard of her? She got her show. She got a show on YouTube called The Pink Champs, and she does her morning show on Instagram, Jonesy in the morning, and she's been in radio for a long time. But I remember her back when she first got signed as Miss Jones, as an artist, and her and I had an interesting connection. It was really cool to sit down and do that interview with her. We sat and talked for like 2.5 hours. And earlier this week, I think it was the Tuesday morning show. And I think it's still available, but it's on her members only content for Instagram. And she asked me some really interesting questions. One of which she asked me was, I'm scared of Diddy getting out of jail. What do you guys think? I want to hear y'all answer that question. Do you think I'm afraid of Diddy getting out of jail?
No, I think you welcome the storm.
Do you think I should be afraid?
Not from Diddy, no.
I do.
I think Diddy's going to come out a broken man who's going to try to rise back to fame. I don't think he's coming back out the arrogant Diddy that we saw go in.
Well, he got into a fight. He went into the hole, and somehow he managed to get his sentence pushed up another month. Now it's January 2028.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they shaved off 4 months. It's interesting. Everyone said that he violated the program. They caught him with cigarettes. They caught him with cell phones. He should be thrown out of that program, and yet doesn't look like he's going to be. he should have forfeited all his good time.
Yeah, anyone normal would have got their time forfeited or, got pushed back,
And that's not enough to get people to believe what I've been telling them all along. I did the impossible, and the impossible happened. The untouchable man got touched. And I got to see it happen. And when he comes home, I'm not going to say too much.
Yeah, that's the thing. He will be home. Like he will come home.
One day, I just don't think any of this shit's going to play out the way people want it to. Just like I don't think the whole Roc Nation saga is going to play out the way people think it's going to either. But 6 years ago, I started sharing the truth with y'all. And nobody believed we'd make it this far. Or that this much would actually happen as I said it would.
Yeah, they say revenge is a dish best served cold, meaning that sometimes it's going to take a little time. And that plate may get a little cold, but you will serve it. And everything that you said that has come to light, I was speaking with someone, I guess, the other day, and they were saying, hey, we love the platform. We love Real Life Street Stars. That we love Jaguar Wright. She's the truth. And everything she said has come to light. And, they've been watching this for so long. And it's interesting that so many people doubted a lot of the stuff you said early on. And they're like, well, how does she know? How does she know? And I'm like, well, she was in the industry. I mean, I guess if people don't understand how long you've been in the industry, it wasn't just Jay-Z on MTV's Unplugged.
Since I was a kid. I started recording when I was 13 years old. I knew real superstars, not the fugazi they sell to these kids. I was a little girl learning how to do backline steps in Harold Melvin's house. It was Bunny Sigler who asked me to sing Love, Need, and Want, the Patti LaBelle song that he wrote.
Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. That's where Teddy Pendergrass came from. See, I worked with Teddy Pendergrass, and Teddy introduced me to Patti LaBelle. And so I understand, all the stuff that Jag been through. I understand because I've been through it all, so I wasn't as deep into it. I did work with artists that was signed to Bad Boy. I have done work with artists that was signed with all kinds of record labels. Motown, yeah. Here we go, man. Let's keep going. Yeah.
It was Bunny Sigler who asked me to sing Love, Need, and Want, the Patti LaBelle song that he wrote. I sang backgrounds for Patti LaBelle. She fired me. Not because I did anything wrong. The alto, she kept singing flat. And back then, if the whole back line wasn't tight, didn't matter who was right. Everybody got fired. That's how long I've been around. Gerald Levert mentored me as a songwriter and had been in my life ever since I was 15 years old. I was introduced to him by McKinley Orton, who wrote I'll Be Dreaming for Vanessa Williams. I'll be dreaming. I was friends with the people who wrote that song. I started interning at labels when I was a kid. I remember the first time I met Sean Carter, and it wasn't at MTV Studios. I was a girl. and we were on them streets. And I know Dr. York just as well as he does. Why does nobody ever ask him about his ties to the Ansars and the Holy Tabernacle? You know, Jonesy said something really interesting, and then someone had said something really interesting after the interview. And they were like, just because you know somebody doesn't mean you have to tell everybody that you know them. I know everybody, but more importantly than that, everybody knows me. I don't gotta fight. What's really interesting though, the thing is for all of those years, nobody ever questioned what I was or who I was. I was revered, I was accepted, I was appreciated. Some people even worshiped my abilities. Once upon a time, some still do. Without my encouragement, I don't believe in celebrity worship. I just don't. But the thing that gets me, really, is that nobody started talking shit about my career or talking shit about me like that publicly or going after me or questioning my relevance or questioning who I am or questioning my history until I started telling the truth about the industry. It was only then that the backlash happened. If I was so hated and if I was so, not wanted and so irrelevant and so this and so that, why wasn't motherfuckers talking about me like this the whole time? Has anybody ever asked that question? Like, if I was so H forever, then why wasn't niggas talking about me like I wasn't shit forever? Why did it not start until I started calling people out and started adding up? Tell me that's not an important question that I just threw out there.
No, without question. Without question.
It's just funny how quickly the world falls for it.
Well, Jag, as we have these conversations, you have new fans every day, people who are just being introduced to you, and they go back and watch your old interviews, and it's always a learning lesson when they go back and watch, what's come before, because you kind of always painted a timeline, and you kind of stick within that, and there's a lot of, again, truth that just lays in there that people will need to go back and watch and listen. But as we do this on the Real Life Street Stars on the Blue Couch, you also, again, you have your sermons almost on a daily on your own channel. I want you to go ahead and, let people know as far as, they fall in love with you here and they could actually go and watch you on your own accord. Can you tell them again which sites are you on? What's the best way to catch you if they want to, sometimes they be excited to catch you live. When do you go live? Kind of, get you in their algorithm.
Keep your notifications on and just subscribe to my platforms. Here on YouTube, our community channel where I am, where I go live, where we talk, where we kick it. I do my weekend wrap-ups there. We do our Tuesday tea there. We have our impromptu lives. We have our members only stuff that we do. And we're a members powered platform. So predominantly, mostly everybody there is a member. Well, not mostly everybody, because we're almost 130,000 subscribers strong, but we have somewhere around like 500 members. We're trying to get that number up. Because more people should come, and it gives people the chance to get to know me, like as me, for me. But that's the Jaguar Wright effect. here on YouTube. We also have the Jaguar Wright Show, where my more produced content like this will be over there. I'm about to start doing some new interviews soon. Over there, the Jaguar Wright Show. We also have our producers platform, Set in the West Doc, and we have Set in the West LA, and Wolfgang on the Dais. Y'all know Odell over there burning it up. I'm over there sometimes too, but I'm just pretty much Jaguar Wright everywhere else, whether it be on Twitter or X. And I occasionally do spaces there. I'm also on Kick now, kick.com/Jaguar Wright. We have our Patreon.com/Jaguar Wright. You know, I still have my Instagram, Jaguar Wright, and I'm over on TikTok as well, Jaguar Wright. Now, I'm not there all the time. And we also have the Jaguar Wright Uncensored podcast, or you can just look me up at thejaguarwright.com, my website, and all of the links are there. And yeah.
There you go. There you go. Jack, let me ask you, how does one become a moderator on your channel? And shout out your moderators if you would like to shout out any of them.
Well, there's Auntie Leah, there's Archangel Michael, there's the natural one who we all know as Ayasha Lachey Bay. We have Kat, and we don't have a lot of moderators anymore. We really don't. Cut it down a lot because, you know, becoming a moderator for someone like me is the best way to infiltrate my platform. And we keep it tight. We keep it small now. How do you become a moderator for my channel? You don't. You come around. You be around. And if we feel comfortable, you might just get that wrench. I know that there's a lot of people here on YouTube that sell wrenches. What is it, $100 and you get a wrench and all of that stuff. Like, no, we're a community, and the information that we share and the work that we do is very important. So it has to be done, earnestly. So yeah, if you want to become a moderator though, be around, be reliable, be dependable, be respectful, don't be divisive. Just be around. Little by little, we'll see.
Okay. There you go. There you go. Well, with that being said, Jag, I know it's been a minute. Thank you for coming in and blessing us in regards
and
to
don't forget about my GoFundMe, my legal defense fund.
Yes, please. I guess the easiest way, we'll put that in the description. The easiest way to do it is click on the description when you see it right below this interview and below any clips.
Yes.
You'll see that, or just go to GoFundMe and type in Jaguar Wright. It'll come up. And the simple way, if you want to just give something quick, I know Cash App is the way to go, but cruelty-free artistry, this exactly as it's spelled, cruelty-free artistry, no extra Y's. Yeah, no extra Y's or anything. Jaguar Wright gets that directly to her. So definitely anything, of course, helps. We did a live a couple of days ago as far as wanting to get the legal defense up. And hopefully, thank you for everyone who was a part of that live and donated. And we appreciate all of it.
Every little bit helps, and we're still raising. We're still here. We've been doing this fundraiser since March, and we're barely 10% to our final goal. So I'm hoping that number kicks up. And all I can say is, if we can get 7,500 people to just donate $10, we'll get to our goal. So I want to thank everyone who did donate, who came out for the telethon. Thank you so much. It was fun. It was good to just sit and talk and bust it up and have that conversation. And a lot of my people were in the chat, and a lot of other people's people, well, not a lot. There was a couple weirdos in the chat, and that's to be expected when it comes to me. But everyone else, especially here on the Real Life platform, oddly enough, we've been on this journey together for a long time. And I know of all of the people that come here and sit on this couch. I'm a little different. And our relationship is a little unique. I just want you all to know that all of the positive comments throughout the years, you know, it's so funny. I never used to read comments at all. It was this platform and these sit downs that we have that made me start reading comments. And I'm so grateful that I did, because some of you have some really brilliant minds, wonderful things to say. And I just want everyone to know there's so much love and so much appreciation for this relationship that we have here. And salute to you all as we continue to journey on.
No, thank you. And journey on, we will. You're responsible for at least about 30% of our female fan base. So we got to thank you for introducing us and having even women come into our platform and finding enjoyment in having these conversations. So with that being said, Jaguar Wright, you're back once again with another one, epic. But as you well know, you are a real life street star, and we salute you. Appreciate it.